We're going to learn the third main component of Pinyin, which is the tone. There are a total of 5 tones, and they are represented by different symbols that appear above the vowels. And this word is ma, which means horse. And the tone symbol looks like a little letter V, which is located right above the vowel sound. Here are the 5 tones. Their names are quite unoriginal. They just go by first tone, second tone, third tone, fourth tone, and fifth tone, which is also called the neutral tone. And you can see that with the same vowel, it can take on all of the 5 different tones. And all of the tones are represented by different symbols. Can you see that? Now, tones are important to master because 2 syllables with the exact same spelling but different tones can have completely different meanings. So let's look at this sentence. Mama, ma, ma, ma means, does mom yell at the horse? And I want you to take a close look at the pinyin. Can you see that the pinyin syllables are all the same? Everything is M-A, 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 M-A. But because the tones are different, we've created words with completely different meanings. So you definitely want to pronounce your tones correctly, or you might inadvertently say something that you didn't mean to. So there are several things that I want you to take away from this chart. Notice that the tones are written as symbols over the central vowel. And if there is no tone symbol, then it's just the 5th tone or the neutral tone. And these colorful arrows show you what the tone should sound like. So you can see the first tone starts and ends high. Ma. It's almost like a sing-song sound. The second tone starts a little bit lower, but then quickly goes up. So it goes like this. Ma. And the third tone, kind of in yellow, it dips down, but then slowly goes back up. So it sounds like this. Ma. And the 4th tone starts high, but it forcefully goes down. So it sounds like this. Ma. And the 5th tone is not shown, but it's basically a neutral tone, so it's very unstressed. So it would sound like this. Ma. Let's talk about the first tone. The symbol for the first tone is a small dash above the central vowel. And the first tone, like we said, is a high, even, and constant tone. So you want to imagine a plane that is flying at a constant high altitude in the air. So you can say the sound in a high, almost sing-song voice, like this. Ma. Now let's try reading these syllables using the first tone. We'll start with ma. Ma. Fa, he, ji. The symbol for the second tone is a small upward accent above the central vowel. This indicates that the second tone is a rising tone. You can think of an airplane that's gaining altitude. So it should sound like this. Ma. Imagine if you just heard some unbelievable news. Something really surprising. So what's your response? You might say, what? And that's exactly the rising tone of the second tone. Ma. Let's read these syllables together, starting with the first one. Ma. Fa. He. Ji. The third tone is a small V shape above the central vowel, and this shows that the third tone will go down but then go back up, just like the airplane that drops altitude during turbulence but then climbs back up. It's the same idea, but with your voice, like this. Ma. Now let's try using an English analogy. Imagine your friend just told you he has $1 billion. So you're a little bit suspicious because your friend has no job. So you might be wondering where he got $1 billion. So you might ask, you do? You do? That falling and then rising pitch is exactly what we're looking for. Like this. You do. Ma. So let's read these third tone syllables together, starting with the first one. Ma, fa, lian, ji. And here's the fourth tone. The symbol is a little downward accent above the central vowel, and it's a quickly falling and fading tone like this. Ma. It's like if our plane is going to do a crash landing, it quickly goes from a high altitude down to the ground, and your voice does the same thing. It starts off high, makes a forceful sound, but quickly falls and fades. Ma. Imagine when you're a teenager and your parents came to nag you, you'd probably get really frustrated and annoyed, and then you would say, "What?" And that's exactly the quickly falling tone we're looking here. What? Ma. Okay, let's practice these fourth tone syllables together, starting with the top one. Ma. Hua. Xia. Xie. The fifth tone is a neutral tone, so we already said that it's short and unstressed, and it's not represented by any symbol. So if it was an airplane, it basically wouldn't be doing anything. Okay, let's practice saying these syllables together. Ma, ba. Okay, I want to share a story with you about my puppy Q. And he's a naughty boy, and he's always getting into trouble. And I'm going to tell you this story to help you remember the 5 different tones. So one day I was working on some Mandarin lessons in my home office, and the house felt very eerily silent. And for those of you who have dogs at home, you know it's trouble when the house is too quiet. It means your puppy is either secretly causing trouble or has already done something bad and is simply hiding from you. So I got up from my desk and I called out to him. Q, Q. I called in a high, flat tone, and that's the first tone. And there was no response. There's no pitter-patter of footsteps, so I knew something was wrong. So I got up and I started searching for that little rascal. I walked out to the living room and check out what I find. Yeah, that's not good. The aftermath of his destruction puts me in a state of disbelief. Was my little puppy capable of all of this huge mess? So I'm kind of in a state of shock. So I say, Q? Q? I whisper in a short, rising tone because I'm so shocked. And that's the second tone. Then the anger sets in and starts bubbling as I realize I've got to clean up this mess. And I'm tired, and the last thing I want to deal with is this. And why can't my dog just be normal? Why does he have to have ADHD? And guess what? I find the little devil hiding under the table, trying to look invisible. And I muster my best, slow, threatening voice. Q. I say with a fall and rise in my tone. Q. That's the third tone, and he knows he's in trouble. I try to get him out from under the chair, but this furry little whirlwind is too fast for me, and he quickly dashes out only to find another hiding place under the couch, which is even more inaccessible. So in a fit of frustration, I yell, Q! In a forceful downward tone. Q! And that's the fourth tone. And he really knows he's in trouble now, so he tentatively sticks out his little nose and then his little paws, and he finally crawls towards me with huge watery eyes as if begging for forgiveness. And I'm a softie, so I give him a little pat, and he gives me a big wet kiss, and I say, "Oh, Q," really softly in that fifth neutral tone. "Oh, Q." And there you have it, the 5 Mandarin tones thanks to my puppy. And as a note, the tones don't necessarily denote those emotions. For example, I use the 4th tone Q to indicate frustration and anger, but a Mandarin word in the 4th tone doesn't necessarily mean frustration. Can you remember that? Okay, so again, here's the chart for review, and I want you to take a minute to make sure that you really digest what these tones mean.